Welcome everybody, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. The first card that we have out is Five of Wands. I'm also seeing King of Pentacles and the Chariot. With Five of Wands, it generally speaks about something that we're in the midst of working out. To have King of Pentacles connected with the Chariot, this can indicate that the best strategy for working through this is one that is going to be slow and steady, where you're thinking about the prominence of your role throughout this. There can also be more of a patient way of figuring this out too. It can be something that comes up and can really require a lot of energy on your end, a lot of responsiveness on your end, and needing to think things through before you figure it out. The thing with the King of Pentacles is this is the part of you that's going to deal with things in a more methodical, resourceful way. So rather than jumping into something and saying like, how can I figure this out the fastest? When we're in the energy of the King of Pentacles, this is the part of us that wants to be resolving something in a way where it's going to be a lasting solution. We're being resourceful. It's not about how fast you can do it. It's more so how thoroughly you can do this and how this can be a lasting solution for you, rather than something that feels like a quick solution or a quick fix and then you're back at square one again because you have to deal with this again. This is like, how can I address this and make a choice here to figure this out so that I won't have to return to this and deal with this again? And sort of that's the approach of the King of Pentacles. And then seeing the Chariot indicates that if you use that strategy, that's how you're going to resolve this. That may not be how you want to do it. It's what's being suggested. I'm seeing Four of Cups here. Usually that can be the part of us that doesn't really feel into doing things in this way. With the King of Pentacles too, this is the part of you that you're going to think about the strategy that you're using here, and then you are going to apply it, and it's the one that you think is going to work best, rather than try this, try that without really thinking it through. There's going to be more of a patient, steady way of approaching this, and that's really going to be helpful. We see the Four of Cups here, which can generally be this feeling of like not really enjoying the process so much, or you can feel like you want to push it away a little bit. You could even have a feeling, because I'm also seeing the Ace of Wands here, you can have this feeling of maybe, I don't really want to have to deal with this because it's more complicated and it takes more energy and it's asking me to step up in this way to be able to deal with it, versus maybe something that's more new. So that can also be something that's coming up. Maybe you don't want that, which is the Five of Wands with the King of Pentacles and the Chariot. Maybe you don't want to have to do that so much. This can just be like a more surface level that you're feeling. You may not want to have to put the work into that because it seems kind of complicated. There may be a part of you that would rather take something that feels more simple. So it can be, rather than working on something and resolving ever-pervading issues that are there, maybe you want to like throw that away altogether and just get something new and deal with that. You can feel like something new, like instead of this, you may want to take on that, which this feels more simplistic and it feels more new. Even though you may not necessarily know where this is coming from or like what it's attached to. Because something that I'm seeing with this is that you see how the hand is coming from these clouds over here? Maybe if you were to take this, it almost looks like a simple door that you would be going through, but you don't realize that there's like hidden stuff that's attached to it, which may actually be similar or maybe more than what this is. Like this feels like a like a problem or something that requires your attention, that I feel like it's very upfront what's involved in this. Like there's no hidden clause here. For this may be something that looks kind of new or more simple that's coming through, but it may have stuff hidden that's connected to it. So even though on the surface, this may look like more simplistic than this, which may feel more complicated, at the same time, I feel like you know everything that this entails and what's involved in this, rather than taking on something that may have some stuff that you're not seeing right away. And then you're like, well, if I would have known everything about this and everything about this, I would have picked this. But because of the way that this presents itself, it may be presenting itself in a way where you don't know that up front. So just keep that in mind. Your initial feeling may be that you, with this, it's not something that you want to take on, because this is something where you have to deal with the smoke of whatever this is. There can be this feeling of like, no, I don't want that. And you can have something knocking on your door over here, and you may be considering this just because it looks more simplistic than all of the chaos over here. But at the same time, I do get the feeling intuitively that this may be connected with something like even more complicated possibly than this. So just keep that in mind. Your initial feeling may be to lean away from this and look at this and feel like the grass is kind of greener with this. At the same time, it may not be something that you want to act on initially, because I am seeing that whatever this is, it can be resolved. With that King of Pentacles in the Chariot, it shows that this may be a problem. It may be something that you have to figure out. But at the same time, having the Chariot there and the King of Pentacles shows that if you show up as the King of Pentacles and you deal with that, you will be successful in resolving that. This, I don't know about that. So even though it takes effort over here, this initial thing that's going on, you will be able to work through that successfully. The Chariot feels very much like this ensured, if you show up as the King of Pentacles, you will resolve that thing, you will figure that out. There can just be a part of you that's like, oh, I have to do all of this to be able to do that. Like, why not just go for a new opportunity instead? Meanwhile, there's like no guarantee even of what would happen with this. Let's talk about some more specifics. When we have King of Pentacles, usually this is going to be something that we need to figure out that has to do with our resources or has to do with our identity or our public life in some way. So your resources can be your time, it can be your energy, it can be material things like your finances, it can have to do with your job, it can have to do with roles that you play, it can have to do with your commitments, what's expected of you. So it's going to be in that area of your life. I see King of Pentacles as being more of our, like the MC within our birth chart. So it's more this external sort of persona that we are playing. It's like an outfit that we put on, like a role that we play, where usually it's something that we're doing for ourselves and usually other people around us as well. So it can be more sort of like outside of the home, or if it's within the home, it can be like a role that you're playing for somebody there, like a partner or something, where you are, because it's King of Pentacles, you are providing something generally, or managing something, or you have to show up and do some type of work. Okay, I'm seeing Ten of Swords, and then I'm seeing Judgment, which shows a situation where something has come to a head. It shows that the situation is over, it has happened. There's still residual stuff that's being dealt with, however. Then to have Judgment, there's going to be an analysis not only of what has happened, but also the role that you play within this, and even what you can be doing here. And then I'm seeing things are going to be moving forward. Even though things are moving forward, you cannot really be feeling a sense of relief yet, because I'm seeing you go in the direction of the Four of Cups. Maybe there's even a part of you that, even though things can be settling down and moving forward, maybe just like mood wise or emotion wise, this is something that you're not really feeling. So you can know, okay, things are becoming settled, we're moving forward, things are chilling out. But then with that Four of Cups, it can be something that, even though you can see things moving forward, you may not be feeling this. It may be something that you're becoming actually disinterested in. Maybe even something that you don't want to take on. Okay, I'm seeing the Devil and I'm seeing High Priestess. Okay, this is very clear what I'm seeing here. With that Five of Wands, this is something that can feel a bit like a burden that is attached to a commitment that you have, that you're figuring things out with. Even though I'm seeing things, whatever that was, it feels like it's over, like it's not much of an issue anymore. It can still have left you feeling maybe uncomfortable and maybe a bit deterred by having like more of an unwanted or unpleasant experience. And you can be analyzing the role that you play within this and maybe what you want to be doing moving forward. And by you doing that, which can really be a checking in, the thing with the King of Pentacles is that this is a part of you that you want to be checking in and making sure that you feel connected with what it is that you're doing, where you feel like it's a role that you're playing that you value. And so you can be checking in about that, seeing if anything has changed, what you want to do, what you don't want to do. And it feels like that's going to really allow you to be moving forward. At the same time, you can feel a little... When you go through something, even though you can feel like it's supposed to be part of the journey, when it's an unpleasant part of the journey, it can be something that makes you rethink things, where you're like, do I actually still want to be doing this? Do I like doing this? Do I maybe want to like walk away from this? What do I want to do? So I feel like it's kind of a dark night of the soul moment that you're having here, because you're trying to figure out things. What's going on with me? What do I want? What am I feeling? What is the internal experience? Things externally may be being resolved now or moving forward, but internally I'm left with something that feels like I'm still figuring something out here. I feel like maybe externally things are becoming resolved, but internally there's still something going on there. What is that? What's going on there? I want to know. And there can be a part of you that's saying this is a calling for you to be checking in, and there may not be much that you can check in about externally. This feels more like needing to go within and see what's going on with you, because something's definitely going on here and there's a need for you to sort of pull inward. I feel almost like going into hermit mode here to check in with yourself, to connect with yourself. I think like spiritually, energetically, what's going on with me, and really to do that check-in. And also what I'm seeing be beside that is we have that Ace of Wands, but I'm seeing the Devil be attached to it. What this means is that there may be a way for you to avoid some type of work here, to bypass something here. It feels like the difference between that Five of Wands is something where you have to put an effort, but when you put the right type of effort in, which you're capable of, if you put the right type of effort in, it's going to be resolved and things move forward. Versus, and that's choice A, versus choice B, which would be like throwing choice A away completely, grabbing hold of choice B, which can feel more like a blank slate, but I'm seeing the Devil be attached to it. So this is something that on the surface you may say like, oh, that actually looks like the door that I want to go through, the option that I want to pick. And what you're not seeing is that there's other stuff attached to it that you're not aware of initially, that I think would end up getting you caught up to have the Devil here. The Devil feels like a warning that's associated with this, of if you go that way, it may not be what it seems. And this can be, It's one of those situations where initially something may look like the better option on a surface level because it looks like you don't have to deal with all of the drama of whatever the Five of Wands is, but then you get connected with option B and you find out that it actually is something much more intense than what option A was. And it may be something that gets you very involved in things that you don't want to get involved within. It feels like the difference between an opportunity that you can work within and can be resolved, it just takes effort, versus taking something that may not ask initial effort of you and then it will ask the most effort of you because it's going to sort of pull you in, you go in that direction, and then it's going to lay it on you in a way that you don't want it to be. And needing to see the difference between that. It kind of feels like you have, let's say, a vehicle where there's a problem with it, you know what the problem is, you know what you need to do in order to resolve it, and then once you do, things will be working fine again, and everything is very upfront, versus like getting a new vehicle here and it looks all nice and shiny and like there's nothing wrong with it, and then you sign on for it, you commit to the deal, and then it ends up being way worse than that initial thing that you were involved in. And it pulls you in a way where you were like, had I known all of this stuff up front, I would have never gone for this. It feels like one of those times. So just be mindful of this. Check things out fully and completely before you're signing on for it. I'm seeing the moon, I'm seeing Capricorn, I'm seeing Cancer, and I'm seeing Pluto here. I get the overall feeling from Ace of Wands and the Devil, it feels like going into something that may that may appear one way initially, but then is going to appear differently once you get involved in it. Just take the closer look. I think that's really all that you need to do here. Because with the Devil, it's something that you can buy into the illusion of that if you're not taking a closer look. All you have to do is take a closer look and it will reveal what's behind there. So it's not like you can be like tricked without you giving it permission to do that. The Devil only works when we're willing to project something onto a situation that's not actually there, and when you take the closer look you see what's really going on. But most of the time we can be looking for something like, please, where's that perfect solution or that out, knowing full well that it's very unlikely, but wanting to buy into it anyway. And then we don't find out till later, and later is going to be connected with when you're ready to see the truth. So if you're looking at something and you're paying attention here, it's not, I don't think that you have to look very far to see what's going on here. You just actually have to look. That's it. And it feels like this is all breaking down why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. Because I'm seeing something be... There may be something that you want more than you want another thing, and needing to pay some close attention here to that. Why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. So you can move forward. Rather than being stuck in a loop you don't want to be within. I wonder too, for some of you, if you're feeling out of something emotionally, and there can be something pushing you to get involved in a way that something's not resonating with you, but there may be a part of you that wants to take the opportunity anyway. Because this even feels too, yeah, I'm getting this. This even feels too like the high priestess coming online and saying something, but it may be something that you may not feel totally open and receptive to. Meaning there can be something intuitively, emotionally that you're picking up on, and there can be a part of you that kind of doesn't want to hear it. Just because maybe this would be something inconvenient. Maybe there's something that you perceive as being an easier path and it isn't actually. So just pay attention to it. This has to do with your commitments. And I think really the roles that you're signing on to be playing, like what you're signing yourself up for here, and what feels right for you to be signing yourself up for and to be committing to, versus what is feeling like you're giving yourself these jobs to be doing or this role to be playing, and there's something about it where you're like, I don't know that this is really what feels right for me. And to pay attention to that, pay attention to how you're feeling. And to see through something that's really yanking your chain here. I kind of get the feeling too of something almost asking for a small amount of your energy, but once you do that, you're kind of locked into the cycle. And it feels like it only asks for a little bit. It's like a foot in the door thing. It feels like it just asks for a little bit of your energy, but once that happens, you get locked in and it's like much more than you expected. And I even get the feeling of you like almost kind of like right now, I feel like you're getting signs about this, like you're getting feelings about this. With the Four of Cups and the High Priestess, it's saying you're feeling like something isn't fully resonating with you, or you're like, I'm not really feeling this, or something's going on. Pay attention to that. Because it can be a time where you sort of sweep that under the rug. I wonder too, for some of you as well, with the King of Pentacles, this is the part of us that can say, well, I said that I would do it, and so regardless of how I'm feeling, I'm going to ignore what I'm feeling and I'm going to do this thing anyway. And then there's something going on emotionally where there's actually a disconnect happening. I'm seeing Cancer and I'm seeing Capricorn here. These are energies that are connected with providing materially, providing on an internal level, nurturing emotionally. It's a feeling of safety, how we're doing that for ourselves, how we may be doing that for others. If we're neglecting ourselves, that can also be something that's coming up here too. Something as well that you can be learning about too is that you can be committed to things that resonate with you versus being committed to things or signing on for things that you feel like something is amiss emotionally or spiritually, but you're like, well, I said that I was going to do it, or whatever, or I committed to this, or I'm seeing that it's offering that, so I'm just going to say yes to it even though something else is going on emotionally. Because this feels like there's an opportunity here for you to align. Because King of Pentacles can be that part of you where you're doing things and you feel valued for those things that you are doing. And you feel like it feels like when you show up and you're doing something that's appreciated in the way that you need it to be. And you feel that within you, and that feels right on an internal level. So there's that. This feels good internally, it feels good externally. Like I feel aligned with what I'm doing here. Versus you doing something and you feel like there's no connection to it. Even to the point where things can feel somewhat empty, where you can feel like you're just going through the motions. If this feels like a lot and you're like just trying to digest this and figure out like where do I even start in attempting to address this, pay attention to when you are doing something and you don't want to be. And go from there. Like that's going to be the top of something. Follow it all the way down to the bottom of what that's telling you, and it's going to reveal some important things. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.